It's Monday!
You're Harry Potter and the nerd fighters. Oh, Harry Potter, you know that I wanna book it.
Okay, sorry I wasn't here last week. I had some family stuff. Blah, 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 crap. Anyways, this week I'm talking about Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix. Goblet of Fire is probably like my third favorite of the seven, as it's really good, and it was the longest book I'd read until Order of the Phoenix. Not my favorite movie by far. My favorite of the Potter films is definitely Order of the Phoenix, but we'll get into that later. Fire was good because of the ending, from finding out about Barty Crouch Jr. and the whole maze thing together. All the tasks were awesome. I really enjoyed all the tasks, the different schools, that was cool. The imposter Moody, that was a mind blower. Finding out more about Quidditch, with the Quidditch World Cup, and more about the Death Eaters, learning about the Death Eaters, that was interesting. That was very interesting. And the Pensive, learning about Pensives, or Pensieve. Is that like pre-vet as opposed to private? Whatever. Weird. My books are in fairly decent condition because I'm very much a lover of books. I don't like... They look like they've been read. They don't look brand new by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not completely falling apart either. They're still in pretty good condition, and as I said previously, I like to keep the ticket stubs and my favorite bit of the book, so here's my ticket stub from Goblet of Fire. It was a midnight showing. My favorite chapter. My favorite chapter, the Death Eaters. That's also my favorite part in the film, in the Goblet of Fire film, is when Voldemort returns. It's definitely awesome stuff there. It's really cool, and just the process is very awesome. Also, I remember when I read this the first time, I don't know, I was 12, maybe 13. I read this the first time, and it scared the pants off me. The bit where Voldemort comes back, I was just like, ooh. I was also scared when, at the end of book 1, when Voldemort's on back of Quirrell's head, so that basically tells you. I think it's basically because I have a very active imagination, so I pictured it very vividly, and it was terrifying. Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix was the first book that I really went through the I can't wait for this book to come out phase. Like when Goblet of Fire had already come out, and I heard about the releases and everything, that's when I was like, oh, maybe I should check it out. So in the 3 years between Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix was when I became addicted to the series. So I still had to wait like a year, maybe 2 years for Order of the Phoenix. So I had the countdowns from like MuggleNet and the Leaky Cauldron. And Order of the Phoenix is one of my favorites. I'll probably say that with all of them actually, but Order of the Phoenix was one of my favorites. Here's the ticket stub. Yeah, Order of the Phoenix was a really good book. I loved how a lot of the characters come back to pick up Harry, the Advance Guard. That's one of my favorite chapters, the Advance Guard, where they come back to pick up Harry to rescue him from Privet Drive again, like Ron did in book 2. And we meet a lot of new people. We meet the real Moody. We meet real Moody. We meet Tonks and Shacklebolt, Kingsley Shacklebolt. And we see more of Dumbledore's awesome power, especially at the end when he flies away with Fawkes. And in addition to meeting new characters and stuff, we also find out more about Sirius and more about his home life, and we meet Creature and how, like, Sirius was disowned because he wasn't a Slytherin, and how he wasn't all about the purebloods and all that jazz. We see more contrasts in wizarding households we see the difference between like the Weasleys and Hogwarts and the Blacks, how they lived. That sounds racist. The Blacks. I feel like we see Voldemort's locket in Order of the Phoenix, or that might just be me remembering some speculation. I don't remember. Tell me. What I think is a complete waste of time was Guap. He didn't go anywhere in the series. He was not necessary. He did a little bit in the final battle, but Guap was just a complete waste of time. I hated that he was even invented. I disdain Guap. There's not a word strong enough to express my loathing for Guap. Umbridge. She's the character that you love to hate, or you just hate, because she's a real piece of work. She is We also meet Luna Lovegood, one of my favorite characters from the series. I'm a big fan of the Department of Mysteries. It's portrayed fairly well in the films, in my opinion, despite the fact that they don't get into like the whole brain room and everything, the other separate rooms. But I think it's still portrayed fairly well. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. What I'm really disappointed in is how we didn't get any more information about the Veil. We didn't get any more information. It's just like, oh well, he's dead, so don't worry about it. We got a little bit more information about the Veil from J.K. Rowling a couple of, like, I think it was last year, from the interview on Pottercast, but we haven't gotten much information about it since. And I was hoping it would come back in book 7, but it didn't really. As much as I would love to blenderize the second shelf of my refrigerator, we don't actually have a blender. I was looking through our kitchen and I did not see a blender. I honestly thought we had a blender, but we don't have one. So I'm going to get a blender just for you guys. So when I get that blender, you believe me, I'll be blenderizing some shelf contents. Bye. They're called Thestrals.